Hey, everyone, welcome to Life, Simplified. I'm Maya.
And I'm Tom. We're here to have real conversations about life, about the things that can get overwhelming, confusing, and honestly, a little bit complicated sometimes. But the goal is to talk about it in a way that makes it feel a little more manageable.
Exactly. Life doesn't have to be as complicated as we sometimes make it. We're just two friends chatting about what we've learned along the way, and hoping that something we say resonates with you. So, today, we're diving into a big one: how to simplify life when it feels like everything's too much.
Oh, I think we can both relate to that. You know, when you wake up, look at your to-do list, and you feel like you're already behind before you've even started the day?
Ugh. The worst feeling. It's like you're expected to be everywhere, do everything, and somehow still have energy to be your best self. And then, when you don't manage it, it feels like you're failing, right?
Exactly. And I think the problem is we're constantly told we need to do more to be successful, to feel accomplished. But I've come to realize that doing more doesn't always mean we're living better. Sometimes we need to do less to actually enjoy the moment.
Yes. I've been trying to embrace that mindset lately. We're all so busy rushing from one thing to the next. But I've noticed that when I allow myself to slow down, even for just a few minutes, I feel so much more at peace.
That's a big one, slowing down. It's not easy, though, especially in a world that values being constantly on, right? Like, if we're not answering emails in real time or keeping up with social media, we feel like we're falling behind. But the truth is, life doesn't stop just because we're taking a breather.
Exactly. And you know what else I've been thinking about? We tend to complicate things when we believe we need to have everything figured out all the time. Like, there's this pressure to always have a plan, to always know what's next.
Oh, 100%. I feel that pressure all the time. But the more I try to figure everything out, the more stressed I get. It's almost like the more we try to control things, the less we actually enjoy the experience. Like, when I'm constantly thinking about the future, I miss out on the present.
That's so true. So, how do we uncomplicate life? How do we take away the noise and focus on what really matters?
Great question. I think a big part of it is just being in the moment. Sounds simple, but it's powerful. Like, when you're eating a meal, really taste it. When you're with a friend, really listen. We're so used to multitasking and thinking about a million things at once that we forget to be present.
Yes. I read something recently that said, when you're doing something, be doing only that. It hit me hard because I realized how often I'm doing multiple things at once, checking my phone while watching TV, responding to messages during dinner. And it's like, none of it is truly enjoyable when you're not fully there.
I feel that. It's like your brain is constantly jumping from one thing to another, and nothing feels satisfying. But when you just focus on one thing, just one thing, it feels more fulfilling. Like, when I stop everything and really hear someone, or when I just enjoy a walk outside, it feels so much better than doing a bunch of things at once.
Absolutely. And I think we need to give ourselves permission to say no more often, too. We feel this pressure to say yes to everything, to keep up with every event, every request, every new opportunity. But when you say yes to everything, you're saying no to yourself.
That's a tough one, especially for people who want to be helpful or supportive. But you're right. Saying no isn't selfish. It's about protecting your time and energy so that when you do say yes, it's because you really want to, not because you're afraid of letting someone down.
Exactly. And I've realized that saying no doesn't just mean turning down things. It can also mean saying no to certain thoughts, like the negative, self-critical thoughts that pop up when we're feeling overwhelmed.
Oh, I hear that. It's so easy to get caught up in the cycle of self-doubt. I'm not doing enough. I'm not good enough. And it just spirals. But when you catch yourself in that negative thinking, it's helpful to remind yourself that you're allowed to be human, that you don't need to be perfect.
Right. And that's a big part of simplifying life, too, being kind to yourself. So much of our stress comes from the pressure we put on ourselves. But if we can learn to take a step back and just say, it's okay. I'm doing the best I can, that can take off so much of the weight.
Yes. I think it's about accepting that life isn't always going to go according to plan. Sometimes things go wrong, and that's okay. We can't control everything, but we can control how we react to it. And I think when we stop overthinking every little thing, we open up space for more joy, more peace, and more freedom.
Absolutely. And you know, another thing that has helped me simplify life is focusing on gratitude. Just taking a moment each day to think about the things I'm thankful for. It's so easy to get caught up in what's missing or what's going wrong. But when you stop and notice the good things, even small things, it shifts your perspective.
I love that. Gratitude is a game changer. It's like, suddenly, instead of feeling like you're falling behind, you realize you already have everything you need. A roof over your head, food to eat, people who care about you. Those are the things that matter the most. Not how many things are checked off your to-do list.
Exactly. And you know, we also have to remember that life isn't a race. It's so easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves to others, whether it's career, relationships, or just where we are in life. But everyone is on their own path. And that's okay. You're not behind. You're just where you need to be.
Yes, I used to get really anxious about not being where I thought I'd be by now. But then I realized that everyone's journey looks different. And just because someone else is ahead in one area doesn't mean they're ahead in every area. We all have our strengths, our struggles, and our timelines.
So true. So, for anyone listening today, if you're feeling overwhelmed or like you're trying to do too much, just take a breath. Remember, life is about progress, not perfection. It's about finding joy in the small moments, letting go of what you can't control, and being kind to yourself.
And don't forget to slow down. Life doesn't have to be a race. It's okay to just be. In fact, it's necessary.
Right. So, take a moment to appreciate where you are right now. You're doing great. Keep going at your own pace, and remember that you don't have to have it all figured out to live a good life.
That's it for today's episode of Life Simplified. We hope this conversation helps take some of the pressure off and reminds you that you don't have to do it all. Just take things one step at a time.
Thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time.
Until then, take care, take it easy, and keep it simple.